Tell me, do you love me true? Or is he holding you the way I do?
With all your hearts, you wish it weren't the case. You wish things could be a little bit different. But there's also feelings mixed in there, and they're together with those awkward feelings, and these are just as strong and just as important on a day like today. Gratitude, love. Perhaps even some feelings that after struggling for a little bit, there's a hope that George is now in a better place. Sometimes hard to know what to do with all those mixed up feelings. Many of the happy memories of his youth sometimes get covered up by some more recent memories that you've got. But today's a moment where these memories can be rewritten. We know that George is at rest now. His body's returned to full health. And so today becomes a day where we start to remember him the way that you really want to remember him, with gratitude and love. Reflect on 97 wonderful years filled with so many memories and experiences. To laugh at the funny times and just shake your head in disbelief at the times where George was just the unique personality that he was. He was a little bit of a stirrer, a ladies' man, I'm told, as well. Those memories are ones to hold on to. And sometimes they can lead us to be inspired to create more memories with the ones that we love as well. We so often focus at times like this, the immediate attention is drawn to what we've lost, who we've lost, a presence in each and every one of our lives. But it should turn to feelings of gratitude, being grateful for so many years spent with our loved one, the memories and the things that we've done, and the times we've created, the legacy they leave, the things they teach us. We should be thankful for all of those things. That's why we come together on a day like today. It's normal and natural for some memories to fade over time. You can choose to allow the troubling memories to fade, and you focus on the more beautiful memories in the service today. It was hard not to love George. Those that knew him closest, he was simply known as Tex. Hard-working nature, cheeky personality at times, and he just simply loved his family. And because of all of this, you've got some great memories. There's a really famous old song that's been sung by many people over the course of the last number of years, but originally sung by Billie Holiday. It's an important message that is contained within the song because it refers to memories that we have on a day like today. The song starts by saying, "I'll be seeing you in all the familiar places." The song goes on to talk about the ordinary everyday events that are now so special because they remind you of a loved one. The song talks about places like the local cafe, a park, the playground, even special trees, special sunrises that you experience. And it finishes with, "I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you." The song's talking about something that's going to happen to all of you in the next little while. You might have even noticed it already happening. As you've been driving the car or walking down the street, you might have been reminded of a memory that you've created with George. Places that you pass. And normally you wouldn't give that place or that feeling a moment's thought. You wouldn't even give it a second thought. You just pass it by and not even think about that particular spot. But now you drive past it and you remember a time spent in there. Memories like that are really important today. That's why we tell stories at services like this. We'll be sharing some of those stories in a moment, but you'll all have the opportunity to share your own stories a little bit later on over some refreshments. And that's important, just not because you want to pay your respects, but we want to remember the good times. We want to remember those stories. Maybe you can embellish them a little bit, make them greater than they actually are. It could be a day that you gather all of these memories and you keep them in a special place in your heart and your mind because you don't want to lose them. So we're going to spend some time within those memories. And as I said, you'll have the opportunity to share some of your own stories later on, but we're going to start, and I'm going to invite Wayne to come forward and share a bit about his memories.
afternoon, everyone. Before I start, I'd just like to thank my family for bringing this all together. A lot of hard work, and I'd like to thank them from the bottom of my heart. My name is Wayne. I'm George's son. I'm one of 4 siblings. Ron, Stan and Darren are both deceased. I would like to sincerely thank everyone for attending today, whether it be in person, via live streaming. This just certainly means a lot to our family. We are here today to celebrate 97-year long and full life of George Coleman. Dad's journey was marked by sacrifice, love, honesty, humour, loss and heartbreak. Dad was born on the 22nd day of August 1928 to his parents George and Margaret Coleman of Wellington, Ravens, Cheltenham. Dad was one of 4 siblings, sister Velma, brothers Keith and Edward. Dad spent most of his early years schooling in the Cheltenham area. His grandparents had a farm in Mentone where he spent a lot of his time, and Dad would speak of many wonderful memories there with his grandparents. In his teenage years, he worked on a poultry farm where he gained extensive knowledge of the poultry industry, and what he didn't know about chooks wasn't worth knowing. He also completed an apprenticeship in the trade of fibrous plastering, which in those days was a highly skilled profession requiring patience, precision, and a very physically demanding job. On reaching the age of 19, he enlisted in the Royal Australian Navy and trained at HMAS Service, the Naval Academy in Crew Point. Dad fought in the Korean War conflict from 1951 to 1953 on board the frigate HMAS Commandant, and he's always very proud of his military service. Upon returning to Australia, he was stationed at the Naval Depot in Williamstown, where he met Mum, Joyce Reed, and they enjoyed a long life partnership together. Like many men of this generation, his experiences built toughness, resilience, discipline, which stayed with him for the rest of his life. In 1955, Dad and Mum left Williamstown and headed to southwestern Victoria. This is where they spent many years trying to make their way in the world, working on the land, picking vegetables by hand in some of the most harshest conditions. Dad also spent considerable time working in the timber and logging industry around Gellibrand and Beach Forest. Life there was tough. There were no shortcuts. Very little money and certainly no luxuries. All while raising 2 young boys from Mum's previous marriage, Ron and Stan. I have a couple of stories to share with you that my brother told me, and he saw these at first hand. Dad certainly had plenty of ideas over the years, although I'm not entirely sure this was one of the better ones. One day, Dad ordered 100 baby chickens to be sent from Melbourne to Warrnambool by train. The only problem is he hadn't actually worked out where they were going to go once they got there, and he also forgot to mention this to Mum. So when the chicks turned up, the only place available for them was inside the house. Apparently there were chicks running absolutely everywhere, and he probably cannot repeat exactly what Mum had to say. Another story involved the local fundraiser from then in that area where an exhibition boxing match had been organised. A well-known boxer meant to come down from Melbourne for the fight, but he pulled out at the last moment. So Dad didn't want this event to be cancelled after all the tickets had already been sold. He simply put up his hand and said, "I'll fight him." Well, the two of them belted the hell out of each other. There was blood everywhere, so much so that the local copper had to eventually step in and stop the fight. This was certainly tough men back in those days, and it definitely made for a memorable fundraiser. After leaving Jellybrand, they moved to Colac area where Dad again worked in the timber industry. In 1958, I was born in the Colac Hospital. In the early 60s, we moved again, first to Baronia and then on to Bayswater, where Dad worked extremely hard at the Dunlop rubber factory, doing 12-hour shifts 7 days a week. He also, at this time, worked for a company doing tree lopping and digging holes for power poles. And in 1965, my young brother, Darren, was born at Ferntree Gully Hospital, completing the family of 4 brothers. During the late 60s, we moved yet again to Altona, where Dad put down some permanent roots where he had many jobs prior to securing a more permanent employment with the chemical giant ICI Visqueen as a plant operator, where he spent the rest of his working life until his retirement. Outside of work, Dad had many interests, but his passion was undoubtedly his love for horses. It was just not a hobby to him, it was his way of life. He immensely enjoyed trail riding, proudly showing off his beautiful black horse lady in the parades, as well as driving a horse and cart, which he built by hand. Sadly, life also brought tragedy when Darren, my youngest brother, was killed in a motor vehicle accident in 1984 on Melbourne Cup Day. It was devastating loss and understandably took an enormous toll on Mum and Dad and all our family. In 2005, Mum passed away after many years of ongoing health issues, bringing an end to more than 50 years of marriage and a lifetime shared together. In 2016, our family suffered another unexpected heartbreaking loss with the passing of our second eldest brother, Stan. Dad faithfully visited this cemetery every Thursday to lay flowers for over 40 years after Darren's passing, and then Dad continued the tradition for as long as he physically was able, visiting Darren, Mum, Stan every week, every Thursday. Dad has many things to deal with in his life, but his stubbornness, resilience, always shone through. He also joined Provers for many outings and became a member of the Altona RSL and heavily involved himself in the committees and joining the Korean Vets Association. Sunday afternoons, afterwards, he was always ready for his 1 p.m. get-together at the club with his friends. Dad managed to stay in a family home and live very independently by himself for many years after Mum passed, which is a credit to him. He loved his house with all the memories on the walls, the little trinkets collected throughout the lifetime spread everywhere. He was determined to stay there until the end, but unfortunately, he had to be transitioned into care in January this year, where he spent the last 5 months before passing away peacefully on the 5th of May. While today is a day of sadness, it is certainly a day to celebrate an extraordinary life. Dad lived through almost a century of change. He saw the world move from horse and cart to computers, mobile phones. He witnessed war, hardship, enormous social change, and the world transformed by technology. He served his country, worked tirelessly for his family, and endured great loss, and remained devoted to the people he loved until the end. Dad, you can now be reunited with the love of your life and your 2 sons. Rest in peace, Dad.
Thanks, Wayne. It's certainly not an easy thing to do, to get up and speak about a loved one in the way that you did, and to gather 97 years of memories into that piece with you. You did a fantastic job. So well done for sharing that with us today. Some great stories to continue to tell later on. We did say that memories are created throughout a lifetime, and I'm going to invite Kim and Jessica to come and share a few memories that have been put together by all of the grandchildren as well of George, so I'm going to invite them up now.
Hello everyone. Poppy George, on behalf of all of your grandchildren, great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren, we could never have wished for a better grandfather. Poppy George, you were truly one in a million. We have so many fond memories going on horse rides together and watching you proudly wave to the crowds in the Operation Recreation Parade. Pop would always say, "Get over here," before pulling us into one of his massive bear hugs. He'd tip us upside down to shake the coins out of our pockets, always getting a laugh. Pop cared deeply for his animals and always made sure they were looked after in the very best condition. And then there were his dance moves, the emu. The dance will be talked about for years to come and always remembered with a smile. Pop was always the sharpest dressed man wherever he went, whether it was fully decked out in Western gear or wearing a suit with his medals proudly on display. Always the spiffiest man in town.
We all shared so many good times on the farm, and Pop loved every family gathering and party. He was always slipping us a few sneaky bucks here and there when no one was looking. Can't tell you how many times he said, "Look, I forgot to get a birthday card, but take a 50. One of Matt's fondest memories, I'm sure he'll never forget, was when Pop and all the grandkids were told to hold hands. He grabbed Matt's hand with one and the electric fence with the other, giving everyone a small shock and himself a very big laugh. It perfectly summed up with Pop's mischievous sense of humour and the fun he brought to every family gathering. For Heather, some of her fondest memories were the family gatherings, family Christmas gatherings, and more recently, how special it was getting to see Pop every day at work. But most of all, what we'll all remember is Pop's unwavering love, dedication, and support for his family always. Poppy George, we will all miss you more than words can say. You've left a hole in all of our hearts that can never be filled. Until we all meet again, rest in peace. Thank you.
They are a lifetime of memories, and we thank you very much for putting those together and sharing with us this afternoon. We're going to make them come to life now with a pictorial tribute the family has been able to share with us that we're going to enjoy, and I'll just draw your attention to the screens as we enjoy those together.
True blue, and say you've gone, say you've knocked off Forest Parker, and you'll be back later on. Hey, true blue, hey, true blue, give it to me straight, face to face. Are you really disappearing? Just another dying race. Hey, true blue, true blue, is it me and you? Is it mom and dad? Is it a cockatoo? Is it standing by your mate when he's in a fight? she be right? True blue, I'm asking you. Hey, true blue, can you bear the load? Will you tie it up with wire just to keep the show on the road? Hey, true blue. Hey, true blue. Be fading. Is your heart still there? If they sell us out like sponge cake, do you really care? Hey, true blue. Is it me and you? Is it mom and dad? Is it a cockatoo? Is it scared by your mate when she's in a fight? Or will she be right? True blue, I'm asking you. Is it me and you? Is it mom and dad? Is it a cockatoo? Is it scared by your mate when he's in a fight? Or will she be right? True blue, true.
You roll through life like a wide open plain. Dust on his boots, sun on his neck. They called him Tex with a half smile grin, a steady old hand with a fire within. From saltwater winds to the roll of the land, he carried his story in heart and hand. Out on the ocean in younger days, under a flag and a foreign haze, he stood his ground when the world was loud. Wore his courage quiet, but strong and proud. The years rolled on like a tide set free, but it never let go of what it means to be. Oh, takes that sun down, watching the sky, counting the years as they wander by. Love like a flame that never lets go, even when time lays its shadows low. Through all of the loss and the miles of road, you carried a heart that could hold that load. She was a light in his longest night, a gentle hand and a guiding light. More than a lifetime side by side, through every storm she was his tide. Though she's been gone these many years, he still feels her through the quiet tears. 4 young boys once filled his days, echoes of laughter in countless ways. But life can turn with a sudden hand, and leave you reaching for what you can. He bore that weight without a sound, like roots dug deep in sacred ground. He'd speak of horses and open plains, of freedom that runs through joy and pain, of sons lost and time gone by, of lessons learned beneath the southern sky. And though the years took more than they gave, he stood up tall, steady and brave. Oh, Texas sundown, watching the sky, counting the years as they wander by. Love like a flame that never lets go, even when time lays its shadows low. Through all the loss and the miles of road, he carried a heart that could hold that load. Now the horizon calls him home, where the dust don't settle and hearts don't roam, where love waits long on the other side, and the years fall away like the turning tide. Tex rides easy, no more wrong, at peace at last in the great unknown.
Beautiful photos and beautiful memories, and photos amazing. They bring the past back to life because they not only stir up emotions that are happy ones, they also stir up some sad ones as well. You're taken back into that moment, what you were feeling, what you were doing, and you remember how you were feeling through those moments. But they also allow, as I said, the past to come to life because you see a photo and you get to explain a little bit about what's happening there. You may not have been alive at the time, you may not have been born, might not have been back when George was at his youngest, and you see some of those photos and you go, oh wow, I remember Dad telling me the story about my poverty, and I can see it come to life. So I encourage you to continue to look at those photos because they have a great way of helping us to heal, but they also have a way of stirring up some emotions as well. We also have many ways that we can pay tribute to our loved ones, and that song is an original that was actually put together by the family. So you've all done an amazing job to put all these things together, and that little photo of George riding off into the distance, again through the wonders of technology. So thank you very much for putting all of that together today. In a moment we're going to be concluding our chapel service here, and we're going to be heading over for a communal service just over a couple of lawns here within the cemetery as well. You're all invited along to that. We're going to walk on over. It is a little bit of a walk to head on over there. I think the weather is starting to be kind. I can see a little bit of sunshine. But if you do want to make your way to your cars to be able to drive across to the burial service, you're more than welcome to do that. If you just head straight up this road here, away from the chapel, and you turn right when you get to a section up there to turn right. It's over 2 lawns in that direction as well. But we are going to be walking across there, so you're welcome to make your way over there. And following our communal service over at the burial site, we are coming back to this building for some refreshments to be had this afternoon as well. And they're going to be through the atrium there to the building out the back, or you can actually go around to the left of the building. There is a doorway at the back there. It's probably the easiest way to get there from the car park as well. You're all warmly invited to those this afternoon as well. Please stay around. There's nothing else that can be done with the Tuesday. You can stay and have some time to reflect as well with the family. Because all the people in our lives, they change us. They impact us in different ways. Sometimes they teach us new things. Sometimes as we grow older, we actually realise that we're doing things in the same way that our loved one taught us to do them, or the way they did things as well. We didn't even realise we were being influenced by them in these particular ways. And sometimes the most important thing that a loved one gives to us are values and life lessons that we learn along the way. So as we close the service today, perhaps you can think of one of those life lessons or things that George taught you and gave you that will be with you forever. What's the most important thing that he's left you in life, now that he's passed on? You'll continue to notice George with all the memories you have and the way that you live your life, because he's influenced you in ways. His life and his love are an example to us all, how you should behave. He had time for people. He had time for those that were important in his life. A very generous person with his time. He gave so much. We've already mentioned that family was one of the most important things to him in this world. He loved his family above everything else. So we want to thank each and every one of the family that have put a part into this service today. You're all special to George, and I reckon if you're looking down thinking he was pretty chuffed to see you all here today. Family is the legacy that he leaves behind. He made a difference in the world because of the love and the values that he left with his children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, all of the family. The lyrics in a song that we know is called Man in the Mirror, and I think they sum up who George was pretty well. Continues to be this for his family. It says, we all need a hero, someone to follow, someone to look up to, a good role model. Well, I'm sitting here looking at an old photograph upon my wall. The man in the picture had it all. Yeah, the man in the picture, he didn't fly through the air. He's no superhero. He's no millionaire. He didn't walk on the moon. He didn't save the world today, but he's my hero anyway. Maybe there's something we can learn from George about his life and the way that we should conduct our own lives. It might be that family are the most important thing in this world of all. Whatever we do in life, we need to spend time with those that we love the most. Don't let work or other things get the best of our energy or our attitude. Your heart and your time are the most important gifts that you can give to somebody else. People in our lives that we love the most need to be given the best and the most important parts of our life. And George was very much like that. So with that thought in mind, we can say goodbye to him with thankfulness in our hearts. We find comfort in knowing that he was loved. He lived a very long and beautiful, beautiful life. George, we thank you for your inspiration, your life, and your love, your compassion, your life of truth. Thank you for walking this earth, for simply just being